folks, welcome back to the channel. Happy Catty Crypto here. Let's dive straight into it. And there's been a lot of things going on the past four or 5 days that I've been working. I've kind of been watching things elaborate. There are things we do need to discuss, but for right now, we're going to move on more of a positive note. So let's head straight over to the governance system. And there seems there's a bug. I'm going to make Terra Rebels aware of the bug that when you press to the second page, it will just bug out and show you nothing. So there is a proposal on here that's hidden. I have got it up, and you can get to this proposal just by going to Lunc Penguins, go to the proposals tab, tap in there, and you can see any of the proposals, and then you just need to click on it there and it will take you straight to it. Okay, so don't freak out, we've got your backs over at the Lunc Penguins website. So now, like I was saying, moving on to a more positive note and really looking at this signaling proposal for Terra Classic recovery, which is more or less being put together by Edward Kim and the sort of people that are around him. This one is an absolute no-brainer for anybody to say yes to. It's not a long read, it's not a hard read by any means, and it's not contradictory of itself. There's not another proposal up which contradicts this one. It's a very specific proposal, and it aims to pretty much put a 750 million Lunar Classic, if I'm not wrong, and if I'm correct there, which I'm pretty sure it is. Oh no, so they're going to allocate 1 billion LUNC tokens from the community pool, and they're basically, you can apply for this. So if like you're a project, a validator and stuff like that, that survived the capitulation, built during the real bad times to get to where we are now, then you're probably going to want to apply through all of this. And, like if you need funding for your, so like Meta Gloria could really profit and prosper from something like this, because projects like that really do need help at the moment. And it's the same with Exodus. And if you haven't noticed, recently Exodus and Lunatics token are actually partnering up, and I've been working very hard in the background to ensure people are talking to each other and everybody's communicating on the same level, because ultimately we're all here driving towards the same thing and we all need to be on the same page. So I started Terra Classic TV up again, which I shut down when I broke my back because I just couldn't handle the load. But now it's back up and running. It is doing really good things. And to see, from Terra Classic TV, Lunatics token and Exodus have teamed up, and then Miata and Exodus have also teamed up. It's really good. But hopefully all of these kind of people, so like developers, validators, projects and community ambassadors, hopefully they're all going to apply for this. And like they're saying on here, it's first come, first serve. So the second that goes up, the applicant needs to get that done as soon as possible. This is really good because it's going to provide funds to people to keep them where they need to be, keep them going and keep them working to secure the future of the blockchain. Because if you go through any of these kind of proposals and look at the comments, you'll always see the same thing from Terra Rebels representatives, which is, they're not responsible for the blockchain, and it's down to us and it's down to community members, and anybody can help to work on the blockchain. And that's kind of what anybody can do that, because of this, the simple fact it's all open source. Like you can just go and put a request in, get people to check it, get it pulled, get it merged, and voila, you've done some work and you've contributed. But this is really, really good to see this, and I'm really happy that this is all moving along. These funds are, they're not tainted. They are correctly appropriated to where they've got to, and they're part of our community pool. So hopefully from this, a lot more projects will be able to push forward, or people will be able to push forward and stuff like that. Validators that possibly are suffering now, it might help them because they'll be able to self-delegate some of those coins to themselves and things like that across the board. So I'm really, really excited to see this one all play out. We've got a really strong community that are voting on this currently, which is absolutely excellent to see that we're all in the same boat. And what the good thing is there's not been any kind of contradictory proposals put up at the same time. So the issue I find at the moment is someone comes up with one idea and then someone else doesn't like that idea, so they get a proposal up as quick as they can, to contradict that one, and then someone else doesn't like that one, so somebody else puts up a third proposal which contradicts both, and then they're all being voted on at the same time. And you know, it's not healthy for a community, because we already struggle to get people to read, you know, the smallest of Agora texts and stuff like that. So it's always something to take in, absorb, and kind of understand that that's happening and stuff like that. So now moving over to the re-enabling of IBCs to Osmosis, Juno and Crescent. And I know what a lot of you are thinking right now, oh, another proposal for IBCs. But this is quite important, because it's a step-by-step process of unfreezing all of the different Tendermint clients that work between the blockchains. And for the most easiest way to explain what this means is to just look at the map of zones and understand what we're interconnected with but not working with right now. So Cosmos Hub is just Atom, and you can see Juno, you can see Osmosis on there, and it just means that it will open these lines of communication correctly, but on both sides, as to which, you know, it gets us back to where we are. What people need to understand is there's going to be coins that come out of the re-enabling of all of these different IBCs. I'm trying to find out some really good information on Wrap Luna, but it's such a hazy subject at the moment, so I just don't know how that's going to pan out. I think there's around 400 billion Luna Classic coins that possibly could, in the worst case scenario, come out of this re-enabling. What does this mean? Well, there was someone who proposed to, I think, either put the burn tax back up to 1.2% forever, or to put it back up to 1.2% specifically during the re-enabling of IBCs. I don't agree with the first part because it's too heavy of a tax, but I do kind of agree with taxing a lot heavier during busier times. And I've been sat and I've been thinking about this, and you know, people get ideas from other people's ideas. It's as simple as that, unless you steal people's ideas outright, and that's totally a thing, as we all know at the moment. But in essence, like, there should be a max tax limit, so say 1.2%, right? And then it's an intelligent tax. So as the on-chain traffic starts to get up to, say, like a high enough volume level, the tax goes up from 0.2% to 0.4%. And say as the volume dwindles down, it goes back to 0.2%. This is a system that's used in a lot of different things across the board, and I think it is something to note, and possibly something for us to follow up on in the future. And you know, there's someone who's also got a developers pool proposal up and stuff like that. But you know, there's been so many things I've been watching happening over the past few days, and I've been, you know, stood driving this boat with my phone like wedged in the steering wheel and just like kind of like trying to keep up with certain things, and watching all of the kind of different people who are really showing their true colors now, and to see what happened with an unnamed project and an unnamed person is, you know, it's not good. It's not a good look entirely. And I did try to record a video, and I think I got about 4 minutes into it and just realized, you know, this is not healthy for forward movement, and it's not proactive to do videos like that and kind of dwell on these negative things. But I hope that the community understands from, you know, what people are doing, that their kind of like actions prove who they are and what they're really kind of about and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people who've been asking us recently, you know, when are we going to burn, when are we going to, you know, burn our revenue from the node? And we have already done it. We done it on the 21st. It was 2.6 million, and you know, that's actually really good for our first burn. And Luna Classic's not cheap anymore. I remember when I did my first ever burn, and I burnt 1 million coins, and was like, you know, that was, you know, really small amount back then, but now it's actually quite a lot of money. So as we've gained more delegations and things like that across the board, and we've garnered more support, so to speak, we'll be able to burn more. So next month we will definitely burn more than we did this month, so it's really good. Binance should be burning soon as well. I know a lot of people are asking about that. All nodes are still burning every Monday until the end of the year, and Lunc DAO is always burning once a week, every week, and I think it's normally on a Sunday or a Monday, because I think we possibly burnt, we would have burnt on the Monday, because I came in burnt and then absolutely just crashed out from where I was just in the cold and the wet and stuff like that. It's not glamorous, especially when you're still healing a 12-month period when you've got a broken back. But anyway, so there's proposals up, and we're not going to go into them in this video because they need addressing individually in their own videos to kind of get how I'm seeing this and and stuff like that. But if there's one thing that I can let you guys know right now is if you go through any of those proposals, scroll through the comments, you'll see TR representatives stating they want nothing to do with the money. So therefore, whoever's squabbling over this money now is literally squabbling over it for their own kind of like banner crusade campaign, whatever you want to call it, because the money's not going to go to Terra rebels. And from what I can understand is, regardless of what you do with those funds, regardless if you burned them and then reminted them out of the system, you're leaving a money trail, you're leaving a paper trail, you're actually performing actions which you're performing, which you probably shouldn't be, because if there's legal ties with the money, you should be following the correct route with it, so to speak. So at some point someone's going to be held responsible, and because you've wishy-washied the money, in a court of law it will be deemed as money laundering. And it's strange because the money comes from a person who hasn't really said much about it in public and things like that. And it's scary to see what this money can do to people. It creates factions. And the second I saw Terra Rebels was 100%, not interested, I thought, yeah, this is a big enough sign for the community to see that this money's not to be touched. Let them keep it. If the multi-signature signers need new people to sign to burn that money to mint more, then something's wrong with it. And it should be left with them. We were fine without it before. We'll be fine now. And Terra Rebels have spoken about doing budgeting and different stuff like that across the board. And we had Zaradar on for a podcast episode live, and from where we were sitting, they have funding, they're getting new computers, new systems, they've got a support deal with Neblio are going to ensure that they're supported at all times, because that was part of the deal, financially and whatnot and all of the rest. And I know people can sit there and go, well, we should have had a decision on this, but ultimately Terra Rebel are their own organization, and from what I can gauge from what representatives are saying in Agoratext, they're not responsible for this blockchain, and that's the whole point of not being connected on that level. And yeah, it's kind of a weird one really, as to all of the different kind of comments on Agoratext and stuff like that. But there's so many proposals up at the moment. I think a lot of people were also blindlessly voting, obviously not on certain things like this, but one of those kind of really long proposals where they outline so many different things crammed into one tiny proposal. And from some of those proposals I've looked at, they actually need breaking down into multiple proposals to get people to actually understand where it's going, what it's leading up to. But at the same time, each proposal is a text proposal like that, and they each contradict each other. If each one goes through as a yes vote, so to speak, then who has the right to follow what out? Well, each party does, right? But then each party's also working in contradictory acts, as to which it's all a little bit strange. Anyway, my opinion is the money should be left alone, because of the simple fact of look what it has caused between this community. It has shown so many people's true colours, true intentions, and people feeling like they're owed something for finding money that was spoken about in an AMA. It's not, you didn't find it, you just have the direct line of communication to this person, as to which these people keep those cards very tight to their chest. Because why would they want other people being able to get in communication with a higher person, and then being able to say, well, this is not actually how the community feels and stuff like that. So it all becomes highly contradictory of itself in the long run. Folks, super sorry about the 5-day gap. I'm not as fortunate as all these other YouTubers. I did stay in, for 6-7 months solid, absolutely giving every single drop of everything we had into this movement to get it to where it was. And the loudest person in the room is not always the most correct person in the room. Hope you guys remember that, and I hope people don't hate me for not posting for 5 days. And like, I'm 30 years old and I've got a life outside of YouTube, and you know, if I neglect that, then I won't even be able to sit in this seat anyway. So it's all kind of one of those ones. But I appreciate all of the delegations and stuff like that. And I appreciate you being patient. I'm sorry about the long wait on videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. I didn't even think I was going to be able to schlup. It's been so long. Take it easy, folks.